Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Radha Madhav Jaya Gaurang Nitai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Shtashisamas Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naisthiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. What is this thing? Connection to that thing. Projector. Hare Krishna. So we'll recite a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Pashyanti te me ruchiranyam basantaha. I'll tell you the verse number. I'll tell you. In the third canto, I'll tell you the number. 325:35. 325:35. Pashyanti te me ruchiranyam basantaha Prasanna-vaktra-arunalochanani Rupani divyani vara-pradani Sakam vacham spraghaniyam vadanti. You all got it? Pashyanti te me ruchiranyam basantaha Prasanna-vaktra-arunalochanani Rupani divyani vara-pradani Sakam vacham spraghaniyam vadanti. बोले bro, बोले. Pashyanti te me ruchiranyam basantaha Prasanna-vaktra-arunalochanani Vacham spraghaniyam. Rupani divyani vara-pradani Sakam vacham spraghaniyam vadanti. Pashyanti te me ruchiranjam vasantaha Prasanna-vaktra-arunalochanani Rupani divyani varapradani. Praganiyam vadanti. Huh? Not required, I think. I'll only see it myself. Rupani divyani varapradani. Sakam vacham sprahaniyam vadanti. So I'll read. So this is a beautiful verse by Lord Kapila. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O my mother, my devotees always see the smiling face of my form with eyes like the rising morning sun. They like to see my various transcendental forms, which are all benevolent, and they also talk favorably with me. So Lord is telling about His deity forms. Please repeat. O my mother, my devotees always see the smiling face of my form with eyes like the rising morning sun. They like to see my various transcendental forms, which are all benevolent, and they also talk favorably with me. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Mayavadis and atheists accept the forms of the deities in the temple of the Lord as idols, but devotees do not worship idols. They directly worship the personality of Godhead in His Archa incarnation. Archa refers to the form which we can worship in our present condition. Actually, in our present state, it is not possible to see God in His spiritual form because our material eyes and senses cannot conceive of a spiritual form. We cannot even see the spiritual form of the individual soul. When a man dies, we cannot see how the spiritual form leaves the body. That is the defect of our material senses. In order to be seen by our material senses, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts a favorable form, which is called Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha, sometimes called the Archa incarnation, is not different from Him. Just as the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts various incarnations, He takes on forms made out of matter, clay, wood, metal, and jewels. There are many Shastric injunctions which give instructions for carving forms of the Lord. These forms are all not material. If God is all-pervading, then He is also in the material elements. There is no doubt about it. But the atheists think otherwise. Although they preach that everything is God, when they go to the temple and see the form of the Lord, they deny that He is God. According to their own theory, everything is God. Then why is the deity not God? Actually, they have no conception of God. The devotee's vision, however, is different. Their vision is smeared with love of God. As soon as they see the Lord in different forms, the devotees become saturated with love, for they do not find any difference between the Lord and His form in the temple, as do the atheists. The smiling face of the deity in the temple is beheld by the devotees as transcendental and spiritual, and the decoration of the body of the Lord is very much appreciated by the devotees. It is the duty of the spiritual master to teach how to decorate the deity in the temple, how to cleanse the temple, and how to worship the deity. There are different procedures and rules and regulations which are all followed in the temples of Vishnu. And devotees go there and see the deity, the Vigraha, and spiritually enjoy the form, because all of the deities are benevolent. The devotees express their minds before the deity, and in many instances the deity also gives answers. But one must be advanced, one must be a very elevated devotee in order to be able to speak with the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the Lord informs the devotee through dreams. These exchanges of feelings between the deity and the devotee are not understandable by atheists, but actually the devotee enjoys them. Kapila Muni is explaining how the devotees see the decorated body and face of the deity and how they speak with Him in devotional service. So in this way, This is a very beautiful verse from the third canto. The Lord is speaking about His deity form. In every path, there is something very important. Like if you take Jai Shri Radha Madhava Ki. See, for the Jnanis, the books are very important. They study the scriptures very extensively. Some of them study like 12 hours, 14 hours a day, sitting with the Upanishads and Vedas and Vedanta and everything. So after studying the books, they do vimarshanam, philosophical analysis. Then they come to a point called nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is actually the conviction that arises from practical analysis of different type of what is temporary, what is permanent, nitya vivekam, they call it. They also should be able to get the vision, jnana chakshu, to be able to see what to aspire for and what to give up, what is artha anartha vivekam also. So all those things they study, jnanis. So for them the books and the analytical study becomes important. For yogis, meditation within the heart and the Lord's form becomes all important for them. Jnana avasthita tadgatena manasa pashantyam yogino. And for the bhaktas, the worship of the deity and studying of the divya jnana, which is actually called sambandha jnana, and chanting of the holy name. These are very important in this age. So sometimes people ask, what is the need for coming to temple? We are getting lectures in YouTube. Many people say like that. But when you come to temple, the flower offered to the Lord can be smelled. And one can see the form of the deity. One can accept the charanamrita offered to the Lord, which is coming from the Lord's lotus feet. And one can get a chance to do Madhyajimam Namaskuru. Krishna is saying, bow down to the Lord when you come in front of Him in the temple. One can also get to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of the devotees. Actually, there is a great emphasis in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings that one should hear the Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of devotees. Like you will see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to the Tota Gopinath temple where Gadadhar Pandit was reading Bhagavatam, and that was heard by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Haridas Thakur. You will see a picture with all of them sitting and hearing Prahlad Charitra or Dhruva Charitra. They were not hearing Gopi Gitam or anything. They were hearing very basic philosophy of Prahlad Charitra, Dhruva Charitra. You will see that in Chaitanya Leela. And Mahaprabhu would tell him, after finishing Prahlad Charitra, you tell him, speak it again, he will say. He would loved it so much. These two repeatedly Mahaprabhu heard it. So one should hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of devotees, and also one should chant the holy name and take darshan of the deities. You will find Mahaprabhu ran to see the deity form of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and he fainted unconscious. Later on, when they were going together, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke the Madhavendra Puri pastime, where in relation to Gopal deity. Then Nityananda Prabhu, in the next chapter, 5th chapter, we will read Madhya Lila. Nityananda Prabhu spoke the Sakshi Gopal pastime in relation to Sakshi Gopal deity. So you find in the Chaitanya Lila how the Lord is chanting the holy name, the Lord is also hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he also is very strongly connected to the deity form of the Lord. Nowadays people are asking, we have a Bhakti Vriksha in our home and in our locality. Temple is far away. What is the need to go to temple? Is it necessary? We have our program. We have our small deity worship at home. And we have our own people. We have 20, 30 people we are managing. Our program is going on. Actually, going to the temple and bowing down to the deity in the temple and worshipping deity. Actually, if you see the traditional temples like Srirangam or Tirupati and all, because millions of people have come and they have glorified the Lord, and many acharyas have come, and also the Lord is repeatedly glorified and worshipped and adored and admired, and so many festivals have been celebrated for him, so many kirtans have been sung for his pleasure. So in this way, the place becomes more and more spiritually vibrant by the congregational chanting of the Lord's name and the fame. When devotees come and do. So many of the ISKCON temples which are 4 decades or 5 decades. So those places where people come and take part in such kind of congregational singing, dancing for hours and hours it should be done. I remember when I was in Chopati way back in 1991, the Gaurarti would go for 2 hours. 12:30 it would start and it will end by like 2 o'clock or 2:30 it will end. And then class will start. That will go till 4:30. Yeah. After 4:30, Maharaj will finish the class. Then all devotees will request Maharaj to do kirtans. So another half an hour he would do kirtan, half an hour. Then Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, everybody will shout. Then another half an hour more. So sometimes we have eaten prasadam at 5:30 evening. So therefore they will give, Bhagavatam class also would go till 10. So between 8:30 to 10, yeah. 8:30 to 10 it will go, sometimes 10:15 also. So we'll take khichdi. By the time we finish khichdi, it will be 11. So nobody will mind waiting till evening 4:30. It's like brunch and late evening, like that. So people would forget, the outside world and come to the temple, and lot of chanting, dancing, senior devotees, junior devotees, everybody coming together. Everybody will be sweating. Practically, dhoti kurta will be wet, like as if you got drenched in the rain. It looked like that. So much kirtan dancing would happen. Slowly, as the decades passed, I have been watching since 91 till now. As the time passed, people started reading books other than Prabhupada books. And by that kind of reading different books, gradually people's mindsets changed. They started labeling the traditional ISKCON behavior as fanatical. They said, these are religious fanatics. Who is saying that? Not outsiders are not saying. Devotees are only saying. There are devotees who say that, we don't have to be so fanatical. Beating the kartalas, ears will be spoiled. And such long, loud kirtans and long kirtans. We have so many other things to pay attention. People said you have to pay attention to family values, and you have to worry about your academics, and you have to worry about your material growth and things like that. So when these kind of deviations came into the society in the name of being more practical, pragmatic, the result was that society got spoiled, got polluted and contaminated. Then people, they may wear tilak externally and look like a devotee, but their convictions are not in Krishna's lotus feet. So actually, if we don't have conviction in Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai, it is said. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Ko He Sudridha Nischay, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. This verse says that Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Ko He Sudridha Nischay. One should have a very firm determination that if I become Krishna's devotee, everything will be taken care. Krishna is there for me. Krishna is my mother, Krishna is my father, Krishna is my wealth, Krishna is my life and soul. So, Krishna's lotus feet is the real home. Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Sadma. What is the meaning of Sadma? Sadma means house. My Guru's lotus feet is my house. So which means ISKCON is my house. That's the meaning of that. Because Prabhupada's lotus feet is the residence of all ISKCON temples. So ISKCON temple is like our home. So initially people said, we will make our temple, we will make our home into temple, they were saying. But then they brought the deities to home. But in many homes, is it really a temple? Is a question mark. Because you will see people bring the deity and then maybe they will tell the children to worship. And Prabhuji is running for job, and Mataji is busy with her job also, many places. And their deity is sleeping. Nobody is attending to deity. Once in a blue moon, they may change dress or do abhishek. But the deities are not paid attention daily. Actually, making home into a temple means every day the deity should get worship. At least one arati in the morning or evening, arati should be there. Bhoga should be offered to the deities. Not that you offer some little kismis and little some dry fruit or something, and you kitchen very quickly, you just show it and take it and run. So these are all simply show bottle. So, and the deities are just catching cobwebs. One is they are unattended. Then how can they claim? So neither do they go to temple, nor the home is also becoming a temple. So instead of making life at Krishna's lotus feet, they make life a materialistic approach to life. So this is how the degradation set in. So even if we make a large number of devotees in our society, if their convictions are not in Krishna's lotus feet, it is a great loss for the movement actually. So therefore, even a small number of devotees, but very seriously practicing devotees is far more valuable. Ekas chandra tamohanti, nachatara sahasrasha, Prabhupada used to say that. So, not compromising on the quality. So, when we worship the Lord very sincerely and very seriously, there is one more verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadanamalaiva yata alabete santosh yaita achar kare bhakti dharma posh. This verse says, Sadanamalaiva, always one should chant the holy name. One should always, as soon as there is some little time gap, immediately one should chant the holy name. Sadanamalaiva yata labete santosh. Whatever comes of its own accord in life, somebody is a rich devotee, somebody is a poor devotee. Somebody is a highly educated devotee, somebody is an uneducated devotee. No problem. Whatever is arranged by Krishna for me, I accept it as His will. And in that situation, I try to intensify my devotional service. Because we cannot change our situation too much in this world. Like, Luna is a Luna, and Maruti is a Maruti, and Bench is a Bench. Everybody is put in a specific situation. Somebody has certain health issue. Somebody has certain economical issue. Somebody has certain set of conditions, family, certain members are not favorable. So everybody is put in a specific condition. You can't change that much. But keeping oneself in that situation and tolerating all the adversities, a devotee should depend on Krishna's lotus feet and try to find out in this situation how Krishna conscious can I be. If you see, Gajendra was put in a very rigid condition of being caught by the crocodile on his leg. He knew that I can't run away from this crocodile now. I am unable to. So in this situation, let me do bhakti. So he took a lotus and offered in Archana to Lord Vishnu. You will see that. Prahlad was born to an abusing father who was very atrocious. He can't call the police because father was the police. He was the government. So in that situation, Prahlad didn't blame the situation. Prahlad said, okay, Lord has put me in this situation. In that situation, let me do bhakti. He did bhakti in that particular situation. You will see that. Ambarish Maharaj was king of the whole world. He didn't become preoccupied or busy saying that, don't you see, I am king of the world, I have so many responsibilities. How do you expect me to become serious in my devotion service? He didn't say that. Okay, in this given situation where there are so many opulences with me, in all the situations when, let me, Jai Sri Devakan Prabhu ki Jai. So, he didn't blame his opulences in the midst of which he was living, Ambarish Maharaj. Because although we say Janma Ishwara Shrita Shibir Edamana Madapuman, one with all the opulences gets proud, but Ambarish Maharaj never became proud at all. So Devakan Prabhu, in summary, till now what I have been telling, I read that verse, Pashyanti te me ruchiranyam basantah prasanna vaktarunalochanani. I read that verse, what Lord Kapila speaks, and I was telling, in that purport, Prabhupada says that one should come to see the deity form of the Lord. One should bow down before the deity, and then the devotee sees the smiling face of the deity as Lord's transcendental smile. And the Lord appears in varieties of forms, and in those forms he is the provider of mercy for his devotees. That's the purport. And I was just in the beginning of the talk, I reflected your mood, and I was speaking that traditionally in ISKCON, coming in front of the deity and chanting and dancing in front of the Lord in the early morning is a very natural thing for everybody. But over a period of time, people have started reading other books other than Prabhupada books, due to which now they have compromised the understanding of the Krishna consciousness, and due to which people take the serious path of bhakti very lightly, and in fact they even label those who are serious as fanatics, I was telling. Another point I was telling was about how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, his life was centered around Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, worship of the deity, and studying of Bhagavatam with devotees. He is sitting in the Tota Gopinath. Mahaprabhu himself would go to hear from Gadadhar Pandit, and he heard very basic philosophy of Prahlad Charitra, Dhruva Charitra and all those things. He was hearing hours and hours, repeat it again, he would say happily. So hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and chanting the holy name, their whole lives was centered around these three things: worship of the deity, hearing the Bhagavatam, chanting the holy names. And that is very important. So, and in the event of anyone who is doing this faithfully, then they get shelter in Krishna's lotus feet. That verse, Shraddha Shabda Vishwasa Ko Hai Sudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. So they can get the conviction that if I am Krishna conscious, everything else will be taken care. So we were talking those points now. So in order for us to be able to develop that conviction to do these activities of worshipping the deity form and chanting the holy name and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, I am planning to share with you 5 benefits that Krishna promises his devotees in the Bhagavad-Gita, which is worthy for us. By knowing the Lord's love for us, our eagerness to surrender to Him will increase. Because nowadays, we are living in the modern times where people do not have sufficient impetus to do the spiritual activities wholeheartedly, and they oftentimes make a show of superficial participation in the Sankirtan movement, a little bit here and there. Just like yoga also, if you see, some people, they do yoga for 1 hour, and next 3 months they won't do. One day when body is giving some trouble, they will suddenly do yoga. You have seen that? And then after 3-4 months, they will not do. Again, doctor says, you are not doing yoga, you are getting back pain. Again, they will start. Similarly, people, same way chanting also. Some people say, Ekadashi day I chanted 192 rounds or 150 rounds. Why? Because so many days I didn't chant at all. That's not what Prabhupada told us to do. Prabhupada said, daily you chant at least 16 rounds. So this is all simply, what do you call it, Ati Bhakti. It's no good. So the reason why people have become like this nowadays is they're called Stula Dhiyo, Taranti Anja Stula Dhiyo. Like that Nimi Maharaj uses the word. See, Stula Dhiyo, Sukshma Dhiyo, 2 words are there. Stula means their intelligence has become very gross and material. They are very much attracted to material enjoyment. Another word for the material enjoyment is Gramya Buddhi. This Gramya Buddhi and Stula Dhiyo, this will not allow them to relish the subtle tada tada pashyati vastu sukshmam. The 11th canto of Bhagavatam says that more we commit to the Lord, the subtler and subtler aspects of spiritual truths will be revealed to us. It's a gift you get. So those, like the 5 subtle gifts the Lord gives, I will share with you now. Firstly, Krishna's qualities that especially benefit his devotees. These are explained by Sripad Ramanujacharya in the Gadyatrayam. There are many qualities. There are some qualities which are for the demons. There are some qualities, like for example, Shaurya, that is for the demons. I'll read out those qualities, I'll tell you. Swadena Trivida Chetana Achetana Swarupa Sthiti Pravritti Bhedam Klesha Karmadhyashesha Dosha Samsprishtam Swabhavika Anavadikatishaya. Now it starts, the quality starts here. Jnana, Bala, Aishwarya, Virya, Shakti, Teja. These are the 6 opulences of the Lord. And then he says the 12 qualities with which Lord benefits the devotee. Saushilya, Vatsalya, Mardava, Arjava, Sauharda, Samya, Karunya, Madhurya, Gambhirya, Audarya, Chaturya, Sthairya, Dhairya, Shaurya, up to the Dhairya. These are 12 qualities. I will tell each of it 1 or 2 lines, I'll tell. And then he talks about the Lord's dealing with the demons. Dhairya, Shaurya, Parakrama, those are for the demons. Lord shows, like Dhairya means, he declares to Vibhishan that I am going to make you king of Lanka even before defeating Ravana. He was so confident that Ravana is sure to be vanquished. That is called Dhairya. And Shaurya means, in battle, Lord has never felt a need for retaliation, going back, reverting back. In battle, he can never be sent away. Battle, he only will win. You will never hear Krishna losing. You will always win. If you find him going away from battle, that's another Leela, Ranchodrai Leela. Otherwise, he will not go. So, that is Dhairya, Shaurya. Parakrama means he can stun the demons in such a way that he, like for example, Lord Rama, 14,000 Rakshasas he killed single-handedly, taking the bow and arrow in a place called Janasthan. And also all these two fellows, Karadushan and all, were finished in that. So that is his shaurya. So these are for the demons. But for devotees, what does the Lord do? Saushilya. Saushilya means a big person coming down to the level of a small little person and befriending him. That is very pleasing to the small person. Like you will find Lord Krishna is dealing with peacocks and deers and cows and calves and monkeys. He's telling the monkeys, when I came as Rama, you did so much seva for me. I didn't give you any remuneration. Now you take this butter and eat this butter. He gives them. So in this way, he deals with all these people and leisurely he spends time with them in Vrindavan. That is his Saushilyata. What to speak of Lord dancing with the gopis and playing with the gopas in the forests of Raja. That is Saushilya, we call it. Lord Rama also shows Saushilya, but not so much. Only he connects with the leaders of the groups. Like Vibhishan was the leader of Rakshasas. And Sugriva was leader of the Vanaras. And Guha was leader of the boatmen. Lord Ram can come up to that level. But Krishna can come even below that. Not only with the leaders he connects, he also connects with everybody very intimately. That is a Saushilya. Lord Vishnu will never come down. You can never hear pastimes like that. Vishnu is always, Vishnu is the leader and subordinates worship him, and any trouble they have, they can complain to him and he has got all solutions to everything, any problem. In Samudra Manthan Leela, you will find, you are not able to carry the Mandara Parvat, no worry, tell Vishnu and then he will lift it, carry it. And you have a problem of balance, he will become a tortoise below. Again, at the top you are not able to balance, he will become Ajita in the top. You have any, you don't know how to get the Amritam, Lord will bring the Amrit for you. What is his name? No, Dhanvantri. Dhanvantri brings the Amrita. Then demons snatch away the Amrita Kalash from Dhanvantri, he becomes Mohini Murti again. So in this way you will find Vishnu incarnates in multiple forms to solve the problems of his devotees. So devotees, depending on the Lord, that's the relationship between Vishnu and devotees. And on the other hand, with Rama, he does Saushilya, comes down. And if you see Krishna, he shows in great heights Saushilya. And Vatsalya means the devotees are like the Vatsa for a cow. Like a cow licks the body of the calf and removes all the impurities. Lord also makes arrangement to remove the impurities in the heart of his devotees. That's one meaning. Another meaning of Bhakta Vatsala Govinda, Prabhupada says, Lord, even before the ending of the battle of Kurukshetra, saw two Brahmastras coming, one to kill Parikshit, another one to kill the Pandavas. So Lord immediately took his chakra and cancelled one of those Brahmastras, and another one he took his mace and went round and protected Parikshit. So in this way, Lord actually did not care for the worldly moralist type of approach. Imagine if Krishna told the Pandavas in Uttara that I am sorry, the war is not yet ended and I have to keep my vow. Therefore, I cannot save the Pandavas. Bye-bye. He didn't say that. You will see that Prabhupada said Krishna preferred to be a Bhakta Vatsala, protector of his devotees, and he lifted the weapon even though he may be criticized amongst people of the world as somebody who broke his own vow. So protecting devotee was more important than his own reputation. That's why he's called as a Bhakta Vatsala. See, sometimes we may wonder how the Lord comes in varieties of forms and has diametrically opposite qualities. Like you can see, Rama is truthful. Now Krishna speaks lies and steals butter. Rama is Ekapatni Vrata. And Krishna has 16,108 wives. You find that. Rama was born in the middle of the day by noon, and Krishna appears in the midnight. You find. Rama stands erect, like in NCC you stand erect like that. And Krishna stands in a threefold bending form. Rama carries bow and arrow and subdues the evil. Krishna plays on his flute and kills demons only with his hands and legs and lips and everything. Putana he kills with his lips. Trinavarta he subdues with his hands. Shakatasura he kills by just touching the bottom of the shakat with his lotus feet. In this way you find. And Keshi, he puts his hand inside the mouth and makes it hot. And Keshi is finished. So you will find Krishna never uses weapon in Vrindavan, you will see that. Outside Vrindavan, if he is using weapon, that is Vasudev Krishna. Vrindavan Krishna never uses any weapon. You will not see that. So Lord Rama uses weapon. He doesn't use any weapon at all. Yeah. And for the sake of, being ideal king, Rama was ready to send his wife to the Valmiki's ashrama later on, banish her to that ashrama of Valmiki Rishi. You can see that. But Krishna doesn't care any less. You can see Shishupal is blaspheming him 99 times. After that also Krishna killed him not out of envy. He thought that if he blasphemes more, then he'll have to suffer for a long time. Let him be saved from suffering. So he finished him. You will see that. So in this way, you may find a big difference between Ram and Krishna. So why they come like this in two different forms? That's because, therefore he says, Rupani Divyani Varapradani. Lord comes in varieties of forms to, to fit the mindsets of different type of devotees. For some devotees, Rama is most pleasing, his personality and his nature and character. For some, Krishna's sportive and playful, mischievous nature is more appealing. So Lord appears in these varieties of some people, especially in South India, people, they have to have a deep respect for the Lord. If you see, Sanctum Sanctorum, in many of the temples will be black. You have seen that? Dark, completely dark. And deep inside, you cannot see the deity form in the temple unless the pujari takes a lamp and shows you. He shows, unless he shows the lamp to the face, to the navel, to the hands, and the legs and everything. You cannot, you won't be able to see the deity form in South India, most of the temples. So therefore, when these people come to the ISKCON temple, sometimes they are shocked. Oh, such a bright light is lit up, deities are lit up, they see like that. No, it's coming from the top, it will go after some time. No, this is not coming from here. It's coming from the top, no problem. Welcome, most welcome, Aditya. He's blessing us. So, in this way, I was telling you about how the Lord comes in different forms to please different devotees. Rupani Divyani Varapradani. He is benediction giver in various forms. So I was telling you about Saushilya, Vatsalya. Mardava means the Lord feels great pain in the heart when he is separated from his devotees. Like Krishna Balram were sitting in Dwaraka. Uddhava returned back. Krishna asked Uddhava, tell me the news about the Vijayabasis. When Uddhava started speaking about Nanda Baba and Yashoda and Gopis and Gopas, Krishna Balram both fell flat on the ground, loudly crying, weeping. So Uddhava stopped speaking. But Krishna Balram again requested, please continue. Uddhava was in a turmoil. Should I speak more or not? If I speak more, they will cry more. But he couldn't. Therefore, you see, Jagannath and Baladev has big eyes. And that's because they are very excited about the news from Vrindavan brought by Uddhava. So that's Mardava. Mardava means Lord remembers the devotees in separation and cries. Just like Lord Rama was crying for Sita when she was in Lanka. And Arjava means truthfulness or honesty. Lord keeps his promise. Kunti Maharani says that, my dear Lord, the sun may become cool or moon may become hot, but you will never go back in your words if you have made a promise. So, because you told my sons that they will rule the world, and now you made them rule the world. So, although there were only 5, Kauravas were 100, you could easily vanquish the Adharma party. And then you made my son the kings. So, that's Arjava. Sauharda. So, Sauharda actually is the word comes as friendliness. And also, it's a very intimate word. Like we say, Gurau Sudruda Sauhridaha, we say. The word Hrida means the heart. So, that's like a heart-to-heart friend of the Pandavas. You will see. Because even in fair weather and foul weather, he was with them. When Pandavas were in Indraprastha, Krishna would come and spend months together with them. And when Pandavas went to Kamyakavan, Vrishakaipavan, there also he went and spent time. Not that Pandavas were ruling the world, he was with them. When Pandavas went to forest, he forgot them or kept distance from them. No. So that is Sauharda. And Samya means he is equal to all. Like two devotees welcomed him in Mithilapuri. Anybody knows who are the two devotees who welcomed Krishna to his place? Bahulashva and Shrutadev. So first Lord went to Shrutadev's palace. And there he was welcomed with dancing girls, and they were throwing colors, they were put rangoli, Brahmanas were chanting the Vedic mantras, and royal opulences, very nice sofas and with foam and everything. And their feet were washed in a golden plate and everything. Krishna and other Brahmanas, and great opulent prasadam was served. And the king Bahlashva sat on the floor and massaged Krishna's lotus feet. Jai Shri Radha Madhava ki. So, big welcome, royal welcome. And Krishna also expanded himself and went to Shrutadev's house. Shrutadev, whom can he arrange for dancing? He's a poor Brahman. Standing outside his hut, he took his Angavastra and then waved it, and he himself danced. And Krishna and sages were satisfied with that. You'll see that. So Samya means equal. He treats rich devotees and poor devotees equally. He does not see who is rich, who is poor. He has equal appreciation for both. That is Samya. Karunya means he feels extreme pity when his devotee is alone suffering. Like when Arjuna had to fight the battle encountering people like Bhishma and Drona and Kripacharya and all. Krishna felt pity for Arjuna. My friend will suffer alone in the battle. How can I leave him alone like this? A friend in need is a friend indeed. I have to be there. So he posted himself as a charioteer of Arjuna and guided him what to do, what not to do, how to fight. When Nivatakavachas were attacking, Krishna said, leave this place, go and attack Nivatakavachas. Finish them and then come back and do this. So he was very regularly guiding them. So that's called Karunya, means feeling sympathy for his devotees. And Madhurya means he appears charming even to an enemy whom he goes to kill. For example, Kaliya, when he came out of the Yamuna, he saw the bluish Krishna. So the boy was a blue boy, having curly locks of hair, wearing a peacock feather. His eyes were like lotus petals. Face was like a full moon. And his body was so tender like butter and bluish. And he was very charmed. Actually, Kaliya was very envious. His eyes were bloodshot. And always he had forked tongue. He would be watching. So he was always ready to bite. If somebody is far away, he will spit poison. Somebody comes near, he will bite him in the chest. So such a envious Kaliya, when he saw Krishna, he appreciated, which goes to show, Madhurya means Krishna is sweet even for the demons. What to speak of devotees. So, and after that, the Kaliya tried to bite him. Again, the old envy came back to Kaliya, like that. Same way you find Krishna appeared to be very beautiful for Putana also. So she felt the sweetness of Krishna when she saw first. So especially in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he is lifting he's called Ratangapani, carrying a big wheel of a chariot in his hand. He rushes towards Bhishma, and that sight is very beautiful for Bhishma. Bhishma says, how beautiful is the Lord. Here there are pearl-like perspiration drops on his face, and he is coming, charging at me, and his Angavastra is floating down. He's very pleased with that. So in this way, that is about Madhurya. Gambhirya means his voice is very grave. Mega Gabhiraya Vacha, it is said. At the same time, it is very sweet also. When he spoke to Kaliya, or in other places also Krishna speaks. His speech is very grave, at the same time sweet. He's a sweet talker, Priyambada, it is said. One of the 64 qualities is called Priyambada, sweet talker. Like he tells Kaliya, Kaliya, don't worry that I have cracked your head and your jaws. It may be paining for you, it's a little bleeding for you. But I had to do this. Why? Because you killed all my coward boys who were lying in the bank of Yamuna. And you made Mother Yashoda and Nanda cry. And all the cows and calves and gopas, gopis are all weeping because of your rendering this Yamuna poisonous. And because of me, you tried to kill me. So I have to pacify all of them. And therefore I have to dance on your head. Never mind, I will cure all your cracks on your head and skull and jaws by simply a mere touch. Krishna cured everything. When Krishna, by mere touch, he cured. Krishna's hands is like Amritamaya hands. So, when Krishna cured, the Kaliya became friendly with Krishna. It's very amazing. In this world, if you imagine you kicked somebody and you broke their jaws or head, and then are they going to become your friend? They will put you behind the bars. Here you can see Kaliya became Krishna's friend. That's why you can see that he can combine such qualities in this way. And also, yeah, there are many other qualities said. Now we have run out of time. It's 8:35. So I was talking about few qualities. I will tell you those 5 things which I told you, so that I won't keep you in suspense. Yeah, what are those 5? The first one I told you, Krishna's qualities that especially benefit his devotees. That's the first one. Second one, what is the benefit of connecting our activities to Krishna, which means offering fruits to Krishna? What benefit you get? In Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says 3 benefits you get. Vimukto mam apaishyasi. Karma bandha vinirmukta. That's one thing. You become free from karma bandhana. What is that 3.9? Yajñartat karmanaha. Anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. If you offer fruits to Krishna, you become free from karma bandhan. Then after freedom from karma bandhan, secondly he says, vimukto. Vimukto means you become free from the material existence. You go beyond cycle of birth and death. Then mam upeshyasi. You come back to me, he says. So in Gita, Krishna clearly distinguishes between the moksha and the mukti. Moksha means getting rid of cycle of birth and death. And mukti means mukti ritva anyata rupam swarupena vyavastiti. Real meaning of mukti means to be reinstated in your swarupa. Therefore, you will find in many verses in Bhagavad-Gita, like for example, Janma Bandha Vinirmukta, Padam Kachanta Namayam. 2 steps Krishna says. Having become free from the cycle of birth and death, Janma Bandha Vinirmukta, Padam Kachanta Namayam is my devotee enters into the spiritual abode. Like that he says. But impersonalists, they become free from cycle of birth and death, but they don't enter into the Lord's abode. It's like saying, say if somebody reached Bombay, that is not same as reaching Radha Ras Bihari temple. Correct, no? Entering the temple. So similarly, somebody may reach the Paravyoma, but they may not enter the spiritual world. Jnanis are like that. But Krishna's devotees attain these 3 things. Freedom from karma bandhan, freedom from cycle of birth and death, and Mahamapeshasi, attaining Krishna. This is the second benefit. And the third benefit is his special favor to his devotees, which is like a king. For his own son, prince, he gives very nice, costly dresses to wear. But when it comes to other people, he gives charity of clothes, but they may be ordinary clothes. Similarly, one mother I saw in the train, for the beggar, she was giving dry roti, which was kept yesterday, this dry chapati. She was giving away because she wanted to dispose it. And when for her own son, she took a hot pot, and then she was serving special prasad. So you can't challenge a mother, why you are showing special favor to your son? Why don't you give the hot pot to the beggar and give dry roti to the son? You can't say that. She has her favoritism. Similarly, Krishna also shows favoritism to his devotees. The reason is, he says that I am simply reciprocating with their nature towards me, he says. Just like in a classroom, you will see teachers, when a teacher is giving class, the first row, many children are very responsive to teacher, very participating in the class, submissive and obedient to teacher. So she calls them to her staff room and gives them special books, and they get very good marks and everything. The backbenchers oftentimes draw a picture of the teacher like a monkey, and then teacher chastises them. And those fellows think the teacher is cruel to us, and she only pampers, those who pamper her, she gives good marks. They talk like that. So devatas are like the front benchers, and asuras are like the back benchers. So it's not that Lord is chauvinistic towards any class. Those who surrender to him, they are fortunate. They are beneficial. Lord just reciprocates with their surrender. That's the third one. Lord's special favor to his devotees. And fourth one is compassionate glance upon his devotees by forgiving them. What is that forgiving? That verse, Apichet sudaracharo bhajate mam ananyabhak sadureva samantavya samyak vavasito hi saha Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat chantim negacchati kaunteya pradijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Lord is saying that my devotee sometimes may slip from one's position by unpremeditated slip in the course of practicing Krishna consciousness. But I forgive my devotee. Why? Because my devotee bitterly weeps. Alas, alas, my Lord, I have let you down. I have spoiled the reputation of you and your movement. I deserve to go to hell. Punish me as you wish. And I am willing to accept the punishment. And I don't deserve to be called your devotee. I am shameless. Like that, the devotee repents bitterly. Seeing the repentance of the devotee, the Lord says, don't worry, my devotee. Very soon I will reinstate you back in your purity, position of purity. In this way, Lord says, Saudreva Samantavya. Such a devotee should be considered a saintly person because he has repented so badly. So, in this way, the Lord is very, like mother, for example, walks a small child, giving her finger. If the child slips and falls on the ground, will she be angry with the child? Or will she slap the child? Or will she ridicule the child? She won't do that because the child is a toddler. So mother's goal is to make the child walk better. Not that, she makes a mockery out of the child. She will never do that. Similarly, Lord, for him, the devotees, sometimes people ask you, hey, what is this Hare Krishna movement? You guys so-and-so fell down. So I used to tell them, you say so-and-so fell down, you didn't get up only, at least. At least that fellow got up. Only getting a person can fall down. You are already in the ditch. These people have come out of the ditch and trying to walk, and sometimes they may slip and fall in the ditch, but again they'll get up and walk. You will never get up. You are down the ditch. So, Lord is actually very compassionate to his devotees who are trying to get up and get above the material muck, and then walk the spiritual path and try to approach him. Lord helps those devotees by forgiving them. Like some Western devotees had come to India. After eating prasad, they took a tissue paper and just wiped like this. Some Brahmanas criticized. See, these fellows are using tissue paper. They are not washing the hand. So Prabhupada said, see, they are beginning to learn your culture here. They will use water later. But at least they are chanting, you are not even chanting. You are big Brahmana. What's the use of your Brahmana? Prabhupada asked. So, therefore, Lord is more forgiving towards devotees. Even a book distributor, two devotees, when they went to marketplace to distribute Prabhupada's books, they were little fanatical type of devotees. One lady wrote a long letter to Prabhupada. Swamiji, your devotees have to be trained. They are godly people. They should behave with love. How is it that they are arrogant and all that? So Prabhupada replied back telling her, you see, in this world everybody is materialistic and they are hell-bent in going to hell. Whereas these people have taken to Krishna consciousness and they are trying to preach in a difficult world here. And they are new fellows. They are young in their devotion service. But you appreciate that they have dedicated their lives. Why didn't you see that? You are only criticizing. But at least these fellows are going and reaching spiritual knowledge. What are you doing? So Prabhupada was defending those two devotees. Although they were neophyte behavior, they showed. So because Prabhupada adopted the same mood of Krishna here. If you see, in being compassionate to the endeavoring devotee. That's the fourth thing. Last thing, Krishna takes personal interest in his devotee's life, which means what he gives for devotee is not the same as what he does for non-devotees. For non-devotees, matta smritir jnanam, he says. If non-devotee asks jnanam, I give him jnanam. If he wants remembrance, I give him remembrance. But if he wants to enjoy material world, I give him apohanam. I give him forgetfulness. But that's not true for devotees. For devotees, he says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upayantite. He says that for my devotees who are lovingly chanting my names, I give them the sadbuddhi to return back to me. If a devotee walks the wrong path, Krishna will give a slap or a pinch, which he will not do for non-devotees. Like Bharat Maharaj was repeatedly attracted to the deer. Lord gave him a pinch by giving him the body of a deer in the next life. So it looks like a fall down. Actually, it is a progress, not a fall down. Because spiritually, if you observe, when Bharat became a deer, he was weeping constantly. So he had repentance. And he left the birthplace, which is called Kalanjar Parvat, and then he went to Pulahashram, which is a Tapovanam, place of austerity. So that is second thing. It's very amazing. Most people may not want to leave their birthplace, but he left and went to this thing. Thirdly, he ate only dry grass. He didn't eat green grass because he thought if I eat green grass, I will become very plumpy and I will become a sense gratifier. So he wanted to be very austere. Fourthly, he was always associating with saintly persons in Tapovanam, hearing Bhagavad from them. And fifthly, he was continuously praying to Supreme Lord that let me never forget you, even for a moment. I want to again revive my full-blown Krishna consciousness. So all these things show that from Bharat's life, and if you compare it with the deer life, spiritual life had become accelerated for him. And then he became Jada Bharata and went back to Godhead. For material point of view, he came from Bharat to the deer. Otherwise, spiritual point of view, he had become advanced. In this way, Krishna takes personal interest in his devotee's life. And like Arjuna is in the battlefield weeping, Krishna personally took interest in him. Similarly, for everybody, one who becomes Krishna's devotee, Krishna takes personal interest. He says, if my devotee is illiterate, he cannot read his spiritual master's books. He says, Tesham evanukam partam mahamajnanajam tamaha nashayam yatmabhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. He says that I lit up the heart of my such illiterate devotee with the torchlight of knowledge. And whatever the scriptures others read and understand, my devotee will understand even without reading. I give all the knowledge within his heart. I lit up the heart with torchlight of knowledge. These kind of specific benefits which devotee gets, it's because of Krishna's personal interest in his devotee. He treats devotees in a different category. Like you see this Ajamila. As soon as he chanted Narayana, he came from the jurisdiction of the Yama to the jurisdiction of Vishnu. And that Yamadutas could not understand. Vishnudutas explained to them. They told them, what you said is correct. These people deserve to go to hell. This person. But the moment he chanted Lord's names, he is coming to Lord's jurisdiction, he will be given different treatment now. He won't be given the same treatment what people going to hell are given. So they cut the Yamapash and saved him. Gave him a second chance opportunity to become a pure devotee. So in this way, these are the 5 things. Qualities of the Lord, and mokshasya karma bandhanahi, that was I told you, there is benefit of offering karmarpanam to Krishna, and a special favor to his devotees means like the king and the mother example I told you. He offers, actually as soon as you show little interest in Krishna, immediately he will surround you, envelop you with everything. Like you see there are the 108 Divya Desams. Similarly, there are the Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, holy rivers, holy books, holy prasad, holy name, holy temples, holy devotees. They will chase after you once you show little interest in Krishna, once you become a devotee. Even neophyte devotees also get so much facility to advance in spiritual life. And also his compassionate glance is the Abhijit Sudurachara verse I told you. And he's taking personal interest is the Tesham Satati Yuktanam, that was Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, and also lighting up the heart with torchlight of knowledge. So one should consider these 5 things and ask ourselves, how am I reciprocating with Krishna's gifts for me? That question we can ask. Because he is doing so much for me, what am I doing for him? So we should feel ashamed that we are not able to reciprocate with the abundant mercy that he is showing upon us. We are like a naughty child, mother is cooking and wanting to feed us, and we are running away from mother like that. So many devotees nowadays ask, why I am not getting any reciprocation? Therefore I speak on this topic, because you need the eyes to see Krishna's reciprocation. You will see in every moment, every place, you will see Krishna's reciprocation with us, provided we have the sincerity to see. Therefore, when you study Gita and Bhagavatam, it becomes very clear. Lord is all the time reciprocating. We don't have the eyes to see. Like we are putting ourselves in a dark room, close the windows and doors, and cover with a blanket and ask, why sunlight is not seen? Once his owner Jayapataka Maharaj was dramatically, everybody was laughing in the Bhagavatam class. Maharaj was telling, a boy has to go to school at 8 o'clock, bus has come, bus is calling. Father is telling, Beta, open the door. And the son is saying, Father, I don't see any sunlight. Let the sun rise, then I will go to school. Father is saying, come out of the blanket first, open the window, open the door, and the bus is waiting outside, he says. No, Father, let the sun come. So Maharaj was joking like this. He was telling, similarly, Krishna's mercy is all around us. And people are asking, where is Krishna's mercy? Srila Prabhupada ki, and Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Anybody, Prabhu, you want to add to this? You can give the mic to Prabhuji. You have another mic?
has comments or questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Alva?
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having for your presence, Prabhuji.
Thank
We
you.
are blessed, honestly. So first, Prabhuji, you mentioned like temples in South India, like they are dark. In the sanctum sanctorum is dark.
Because of reverence.
Oh, okay, I didn't understand that part, Prabhuji, when you compared with.
Yeah. In South India, any temple you go, traditional temples, the deities are deep inside. And also they will be dark, they only, with lamps only they show. They will not put electric lights. They will not put. You have not seen Tirupati Balaji, you have seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they will not lit up with electric lights and everything, because when Lord is reverential, if you go to Balaji, they will catch you and throw you also. You can't get darshan for a long time. Can you stand there? They will not allow. So the reverence is very much.
Okay.
The Lord is very great. He's a VVVVIP, very important person. And if you have to meet him, you have to wait in a long queue. And even if you go in front of him, you can't stand for a long time there. That reverence is there. But in Madhurya, the Lord becomes Saulabhatvam, Paratvam and Saulabhatvam. So then the Lord, he comes behind you. He makes himself very easily available. That's the difference I was telling. So therefore, when South Indians come to temples like ISKCON temples, they wonder, because with bright lights, the deities are beautifully standing and they're easily accessible. Sometimes they can be confused. They may say, I don't feel like the way I used to go to temple in South, like that people feel sometimes. Because they have some sentiment for a traditional temple. They have. But actually, we have to rise beyond the sentiment and understand the philosophy of Saulabhatvam and Paratvam explained in the scriptures. Lord actually is easily accessible. He is not keeping himself in a position where he can't be accessed. He is infinite, but he becomes accessible to infinitesimal out of his mercy. That's the meaning of that. All right?
Yeah. I have another question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So in Srimad Bhagavatam,
Yeah.
in many places, Krishna and Narayana are interchangeably used.
Correct, used, yeah, yes.
We say Prahlad Maharaj, like he was constantly chanting Narayana, but we mentioned he was in Krishna consciousness.
No, there is a verse which says that Krishna Graha Grahita Atma. There is a verse. Krishna Graha means he was attracted by Krishna planet. What is Krishna's planet? Goloka.
Goloka.
Krishna Graha Grihita Atma. Prahlad was constantly attracted by Krishna, it says that. Actually, you see Bhagavatam, you don't hear Om Namo Narayana Namah. There you don't see that. That is told in Vishnu Purana and other places. Bhagavatam, I can show you more than one verse. Prahlad, like he says, for example, what is that? Matirna Krishne Parato Sutava, Prahlad is saying. Matirna Vishnu, he doesn't say. Matirna Krishne Parato Sutava. Like that, many verses you can show. Prahlad is talking about Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You can see that. Prahlad actually knew that the Narasimha Deva whom he saw, he is also an expansion of Krishna only. He sees that. In Tattva, Krishna, Vishnu, Ram are only one person. But in rasa point of view, they have expanded to exhibit different rasas. Vishnu, I told you today, is extremely reverential. Ram, he is reverence mixed with some amount of Saushilyata. Krishna is extreme Saushilya, you will see that. Saushalya means intimacy with his devotees. It's like a prime minister in the parliament is Vishnu. Prime minister at home, Krishna. It's like that. So some people, I told you, in South India, many people are attracted to prime minister in parliament. They appreciate reverential thing.
Husband in court and husband at home.
Yeah, he's saying husband at court and husband at home. That is a nice example. Or army officer in the army and at home. All right?
Sure. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Look like South has a lot of opulence,
Yes.
and North has a lot of, Krishna, Ram, they came North side.
Not there, correct.
Ayodhya, Vrindavan,
Yes, correct. Yeah, correct. Reverence is more in South, yeah. Actually, reverence is very helpful for stability and discipline and all that. But using that springboard, one should jump to Madhurya. That's like His Holiness Radhakund Maharaj says, if you have to store milk, you need a glass. And the piety is like the glass. If you have the piety, in the piety you can keep the Madhurya nicely. Otherwise, Madhurya can become sahajayik. From that point of view, it is helpful. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dushera Prabhupada ki jai.